and I'm excited. I have two guests in studio. We're going to be talking about some fights that are coming up this Sunday. It's Fury 54, if I understand correctly, at the historic Houston Arena Theater, where these two gentlemen are going to be putting their bodies on the line. They've been training for this. Feel free to ask some questions. I'm going to kick this on the FM. Here we go. Good morning. It's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. My name is Gardy. I have some guests in studio. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we're going to share and learn what they have going on.
Hey, guys. I'm Nico Echeverry.
And this is Felipe Rocha.
So you guys are journeying a long way to get here today. We're in Lamarck, Texas, broadcasting on 99.5 FM. Where do y'all train out of, and how far did it take y'all to? How long did it take to get here?
I train out of ACS, American Combative Systems, and it was a long trek. It took me like about 5 minutes. It would have taken me 3, but it happens sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
I also train out of ACS with Coach Nico, and also teaching and training out of Ed Rommel's Jiu-Jitsu. And whenever I'm in New York, I train out of Unity Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, so Nico, what's a little bit of your background? Where are you from?
Well, I've lived in Pearland for a good chunk of my life, and I still live there now. So, just a little guy from the suburbs. That's about all I can really say. So I just drive up here to train as much as I can. I've been doing that for the past since 2010. So since I was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've learned about Felipe and how he came all the way. He lives on the east side.
Mm-hmm.
By way of Brazil, New York, ended up coming and training in Lamarck, Texas, out of all places. It just seems, it's funny to hear, that come out of my mouth, but, for you drive all the way from Pearland to come train right here in Lamarck. Why?
Well, ACS when I first came to ACS, it was over on NASA Parkway, so a little bit closer to me in Webster. So it was like a 25-minute drive. So like that was fine. At one point, like I didn't have a car, so I would bike there. Like I'd bike there, train 2 hours, bike home. So it's like a good 2 hours, basically a 2-hour workout after a workout. But then Drew ended up Professor Drew Ratajczyk, my head coach and Philippe's MMA coach. We decided to move the gym, and I decided to come along with because I love the atmosphere there. I love the camaraderie. Drew is probably one of he's like the best coach for me. He knows exactly how to push me, and he knows exactly what to tell me whenever, I need to work on something, or whether it's, praise or just saying, hey, just fix this up. It's always, like I said, I just really enjoy just being there.
Yes. Awesome. Felipe, what do you got going on Sunday? I mean, how many MMA fights have you had? What's a little bit of your history?
So Sunday, we're fighting for the 185 title, right? This is going to be my third fight in the past 2 months.
It's crazy.
Yeah, most people tend to do, 2, 3 a year?
If that sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm doing 3 in 2 months. Nico's done 5 this year. The man's a machine. Crazy. But yeah, I'm excited for it. The training has been great. My body's feeling good. Weight's coming off. And I just can't wait to get out there, finish the year off well, and then get ready to enjoy Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah. So you've already fought 3 times in 2 months. Nico, you fought 5 times. Mm-hmm. Did you fight last year? I know it was a tricky year last year for everybody.
Yeah, I fought in February of last year. Like right before COVID hit, like right whenever COVID hit, it was like a week after I'd fought, and I won that fight, so that was nice. And then in December, I'd fought again. Like that was whenever everything had opened up. I think it was Fury's. It was for Fury. It was for the lightweight title, and it was their very first fight card back. So at the very beginning of the year and at the very end of the year. Then after that, I've just gone on this year in 2021. It's been just 4 fights, just back to back to back. I want to stay as busy as I can because I wasn't able to be busy at all last year. Yeah.
What's your goal for MMA?
My goal for MMA, I want to go to the UFC. That's where the prestige is. That's where the money is, and that's where you can make an actual living off of fighting. Eventually, I would like to work myself up into the UFC. I want to eventually open up my own gym, and just I want to kind of spread MMA or martial arts because it's impacted me a lot, and I kind of want to give back to people as much as I can. So I want to kind of, if I can affect one person's life, in a positive way by teaching them, martial arts, whether it be jiu-jitsu or boxing, kickboxing, judo, wrestling, doesn't matter. If I can affect their life positively in just one aspect, whether it be just a week of training or a month or years, then I know that I've done something right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my end goal.
Felipe, what's your goal and why fight for Fury?
Well, my goal, it's pretty similar to Nico's. UFC. I want to be able to make a good living off of this. I have goals to, become the champion. Eventually, I also want to open up my own gym. Something, that I feel like it's probably going to happen pretty soon. Stay tuned. Okay. And, I want to just be able to give back to the people as well. And hopefully they could take away from this, like, as much as I was able to, because through jiu-jitsu, I was able to get to where I am today. Like, I'm able to pay my bills. I'm able to feed myself and my dogs. I have 2 pit bulls.
I'm sure they eat a lot. They can be some big dogs, right?
I can imagine. Oh, huge.
I'm able to feed all of us. It's brought me here. I've made all my friends, everything I have was through martial arts. So if I can, give someone else that, I would love to. And, why Fury? I've said this once, twice, 3 times. I feel like for guys like us coming up in the sport, it's the best organization to fight for. Eric is he's a great guy. He takes good care of his fighters, and it's just a pleasure to work for the organization.
Oh yeah.
Whenever it comes to picking a spot for a gym or an academy, what factors go into that? Because you don't want to. I mean, what's your thought process behind that?
One of the main things is convenience, right? You want it to be somewhere, for example, like close to the Beltway, right? So then it's easy for people to just come and go. And one of the most overlooked things is parking. You want to make sure there's lots of parking. I come from New York. Parking in New York, it's like playing the lottery, And there have been times when I will go to the gym, and then I will have to turn around and go back home because I found nowhere to park my car.
No parking.
Oh, wow.
No parking. So then I did like an hour and a half driving into the city to just turn back around and go home.
Oh, jeez.
Those days were awful.
Yeah.
Needless to say, there was a lot of bad words being said inside the car on that drive home.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, so for you, I guess the convenience, want to make sure there's parking, easy to get to.
And just, making sure people understand that, like, not just jiu-jitsu, but martial arts, it's for everyone. Sometimes I hear people say, oh, I'm too old or I'm too out of shape. No, like, martial arts, it's for everyone. Martial arts is going to get you into shape. It's going to bring a lot of positivity into your life, and I just want to, it's very important to have a well-structured program that could cater from your average person to your competitor.
Yeah.
So that's key. And you don't want to look at the gym as just like what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you want to treat it like a real business. I feel like that's where a lot of people, they miss out on. They don't treat it like a business. So then that way I've seen a lot of good guys that like are amazing teachers, but they don't understand how to handle the business aspect of things. So then they end up losing it. So if it's one of the biggest advices I could give to anyone that's thinking about opening up a gym, go on YouTube and just like start off by looking at little business crash courses, try to get as much knowledge as possible. And I think it's key.
Yeah. Nico, you said you started training at 19?
Yes.
What did you want to be like growing up? Just like growing up, what did you want to be?
Oh, easy. Power Ranger. Easy. 100% Power Ranger. Easy.
Which one, though?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. Oh, God. I mean, Red Ranger, you can't go wrong with
the leader,
Red Ranger.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Ranger. Yeah, but I will say this. The reason why I got into MMA, it's because back 2010, I got I saw that Jason David Frank, Tommy from Power Rangers, the Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Ranger multiple times, and like
coolest Ranger of all time.
Oh yeah, I found out that he did MMA. Like he fought here in Houston. He owns a MMA gym here in Houston, and I saw some of his fights. I was like, oh, like the 19-year-old, I was 19. Like the 10-year-old in me was just like, oh my goodness, it's a Green Ranger, and it's just so cool. Oh my god! Like I posted about it on Facebook, and my buddy Scott told me about. He's saying, hey, the Green, saying that, hey, Mike, this guy, he actually refused to fight my coach. My coach being Drew Ratajczyk.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't fight Drew either.
No,
So
thanks.
Jason and Drew, they were supposed to fight?
Yeah, they
For
were.
real?
For
I
real?
did not know this.
Yeah, man. They were supposed to fight like way back in the day, but Jason refused to fight him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, like, I was just like, oh, dope. So I came into the gym, and like I just immediately I just fell in love with the place. You know, I'll say this. I rolled with Drew for the very first time. He essentially folded me in half, and I'm just like, okay, this is the place where I need to be. This is exactly where I need to be. No, but I loved it, and like I said, I wanted to be a Power Ranger when I grew up. And wanting to be a Power Ranger got me into MMA. So I'll take that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we found out, can you share the story? How did you get into, I guess, jiu-jitsu and even martial arts, I guess?
Yeah, so growing up, my mom, she was a huge Pride fan, right? Mm-hmm. So my mom was into MMA and my grandmother was into boxing. So for me, like as a kid, it's what I would know. Like you would think me, like being Brazilian, that I would be like huge into soccer, I can't stand soccer, So so that was like my first introduction to as far as like seeing like what professional fighting was.
Yeah.
And when I went to school in Brazil, our gym classes actually was you ever heard of capoeira? Like martial art? That was our gym class. Like you had to take that for gym.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So for the few short years that I was going to school in Brazil, I did a little bit of capoeira there, and but then that wasn't, it was only for like a few years. Then I moved to the U.S. Then after I moved here, went through my teenage years, got really fat. It was horrible. It was disgusting. And so then eventually I lost the weight, and then I was just looking for something to do. Mm-hmm. And I was like about 17 at this time. And then this was around the time when I want to say it was Shogun, when Shogun first signed with the UFC.
Oh yeah.
I was a huge Shogun fan from when he was back in Pride. And then when Shogun signed with the UFC, I was like, you know what? I want to get back into training. And then I looked up jiu-jitsu gyms and Muay Thai gyms near me. Mm-hmm. And I was going to go with Muay Thai first. It just looks cooler,
Yeah.
So, but then it turns out that the Muay Thai gym had changed locations, but they never updated it online. So 17-year-old me just walking around looking, can't find it. Eventually I run into the jiu-jitsu gym, and I knew of the Gracie name, but I didn't really know what jiu-jitsu was. Mm-hmm. You would think, like, being Brazilian, I would know, right?
Yeah.
But believe it or not, I can't say now, but back then, judo was more popular in Brazil than jiu-jitsu was.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
judo
that.
was way more popular because judo can take you to the Olympics, and you could potentially make a good living out of that.
That makes sense. Okay.
So so then I start jiu-jitsu. I walk in, and I look at the guy. His name was Will. I was like, hey, I want to sign up. He's like, oh no, we have a free week trial. No, sign me up. He's like, no, you should really do like the week. Sign me up. So then he signed up. I show up the next day to train, and I discovered that there was like no punches, kicks, nothing. And I'm like, I've been tricked.
Right. I'm going back to capoeira. At least there's some strikes in there.
Yeah. So then to cut, and I was 17 at the time. I was full of energy. So then to kind of prove a point to me about like how effective jiu-jitsu was, they paired me up. Actually, this is the first time I came here, and just know I'm still in the hunt for you, Walter. They paired me up with this. He was an older gentleman, you know. He was, man, I want to say if he weighed like 130, that was a lot, you know. And he just choked me unconscious, and I'm just like, what was that? What happened? So after that, excuse me, I have a I'm very competitive, you know. I have a very addictive personality. So then, like, whenever I get beaten something, I always want to, like, prove a point. I'm like, no, like, I'm going to get better than you.
Yeah.
You know? So then I'll stick with it, and I obsess over it. And that's exactly what happened. You know, all it took was that one time me getting choked really bad. I obsessed over jiu-jitsu, and I'm just like, no, I'm going to get really good at this, and I'm not going to stop until, like, I would say I still have lots of to go to improve. You know, we all do. But now here we are 13 years later.
Nico, what about you? Whenever it comes to training, are you obsessive like that? And I guess at what point did you decide, this is my career, I'm going to be in the UFC?
Man, like when I first started training, it was, you know, I got the bug immediately. I like I said, like I was big into, you know, I was a fan of martial. I didn't practice martial arts. I did maybe like 3 months of karate, like every kid did when they were like 5 years old. But just super hyper. I couldn't do just katas all day. I just couldn't get energy out. So I stopped, and like, but I don't know, like I would say probably after my second pro fight, that was in 2017, that's when I told myself, I'm going to make a career out of this. Because after my first pro fight, I had like a 3 or 4 year layoff. I was only able to train 2 or 3 times a week. I'd have to take a week off because of work or school, but then I just started working full time, and I decided, you know, I'm going to dedicate, you know, the time that I have outside of work to train. Eventually, like I'd had maybe 2 jobs after, like, you know, from 2017, and then when 2019 hit, Drew said, hey, Nico, come coach for me. I want you to be a coach up in my gym, coaching the kids, coaching the adults. Let's get you working. And I'm just like, it was like, are you sure you trust me with these children? Because I'm a child myself. You know that, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. But no, like it like 2017 was when I wanted to, like, was when I told myself I'm gonna make it to where I can do this for a living. I'm gonna go full time with this. 2019 was whenever I took that first step. I quit my job. I was working at an autism pediatric clinic, and it's funny because my boss at that clinic is actually he actually trains at ACS now.
Okay,
yeah.
cool,
So
yeah.
it was it's really funny how that works out. But you know, I'll say that this journey, like, there's very few things I would give it up for. Like
That means there is something, though.
What are
maybe,
what
right.
are those?
What
Well,
are
I can't
those
look.
things?
If I tell you, I'll have to kill you. No, but it's changed my life in more ways that I can count. Like Felipe, I've made some of my best friends through MMA, martial arts. And I've made like these people have turned, like, you're gonna hear this cliche a whole lot just from if you interview anybody who does martial arts. They've gone from friends to family, man. Yeah, like I can't tell you how often I've kind of looked back on, you know, the years where I've had to struggle with money or I've had to struggle with personal issues, and I look back at the journey that I've had getting to this point, and I say, you know what? If I had a time machine, I don't really think I'd use it, because, like, to change up my journey from back then to seeing where I am now, I think that it would completely, like, change my whole life course, and I wouldn't want that, because right now I'm sure I have a lot to work on. I have, you know, like, I want to go farther in an MMA career. I'm back in school, and I want to finish up with school. And
What are you going to school for?
I'm going to school for mathematics. Yeah. So.
Does that stuff come easy to you? Like, I guess math and numbers, or what?
Yeah, I math has always come easy to me. Yeah, I used to tutor in math. I used to be an assistant teacher up in Houston, and it just came really natural to me. Like
Even
teaching,
when you were a kid?
yeah, oh yeah, like when kids in classes would just not get it, I'd be like, no, this is how you do it. You got to put this and this together, and they just like, oh, that makes sense. And the teacher would, be like,
I should have thought of that.
yeah, exactly.
That's a good way to teach
yeah,
it,
exactly. No, but I like the teaching stuff just has always come natural to me, and then that's kind of what I kind of get. I guess that's where I get my coaching from as well, because it's just you just kind of have to. With me, I break things down into details, and I'm very detail oriented when it comes to coaching and teaching and stuff, because if you miss out on one detail, you're going to probably flub everything when it comes to technique or it comes to like a mathematics problem.
Right.
So, yeah.
What about you, Felipe? When it comes to teaching, I mean, you've been there and trained with Nico as well. I guess do you all have different styles? Is there a subject that you liked in school that you see kind of translate over?
I hated school. School was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, seriously, all jokes aside, I hated school. No, but as far as teaching goes, I'm very passionate about jiu-jitsu. So I take it very serious, and I can't tell you how much time I spend watching like instructionals, just random videos on YouTube on how to be a better teacher, because I could tell, man, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on just like different instructionals, trying to courses for me to learn how to instruct better, books that I've read on being leaders and all. And because to me, whenever I don't want it to ever there be a student that comes in that I can't coach him, like I take pride in that I'm able to coach anyone, no matter size, body type. No, I'm able to coach you because I dedicate so much of my time to studying, and I find that that's something that helps me out with my own training as well, because I don't only work when I'm in the gym, like physically. I'm always doing mental reps when I'm at home. I envision a lot, so I find that helps me a lot as well. I know while trying to become a better instructor, that also makes me a better fighter.
Yeah. Is there like you talk about that, like mental reps,
Yeah.
just seeing your body do it, or like going over the details, or I've seen a lot of people say instructionals, take notes, or even, on the mat. Are those things important, I guess?
Yeah. So I journal a lot, and I tend to, like, whenever I'm looking at things, I tend to, let's say, no more than like 2-3 moves of whatever it is, whether it's for MMA, for jiu-jitsu. And I do them, like, right now, I could picture myself doing something.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing, like, repetitions in my head. And then every now and then, like, my girlfriend, she'll tell you, like, I'll just be walking around the house, and then you see me in the corner, and I'm, like, moving a little weird. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, no, I was just thinking of a move like that.
Yeah. Yeah. What about when it comes to MMA, Nico? Like you're training for a fight, you're in camp or whatever. Is there an ideal way that you want it to go in your head? Are you ready for everything, or how does that work for you?
The main thing, I like the way that Mike Tyson says, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. So
Exactly like
that. No. Yeah. But, anything can happen in a fight. The main thing that I try to do is I try to hedge my bets as best I can by just constantly being in the gym, by just getting as many reps as I can, and just, I don't say I try to game plan around my opponent. I make sure that I'm aware of what my opponent's good at, and I just try to make sure that he can't do the things he likes to do. And I want to make sure that I want him to just not be confident in anything that he does, so that way I can just do whatever I want to him. But when it comes to planning, I have less of a step-by-step plan and more of a general outline than anything else. because, like I said, anything can happen in a fight. You might get clipped and you might get dropped, or the guy might take you down whenever you heard that he was just a striker. Anything can happen. So, like I said, I try to train in everything, whether it be just train on my stand-up. I try to train on getting back up to my feet. I try to train in just takedowns. It's just, I have to be ready for, like I said, everything.
Yes. You said, how many fights do you have now?
Let's see. Like sanctioned and unsanctioned, amateur and pro together, it's probably upwards to maybe 30 or 40 fights.
Wow.
Jesus.
Does that feel the same? Like, I think you said you had 2 fights maybe in 2017 that were sanctioned. The walkout, the adrenaline, or whatever it is. Is it the same then as it is now? Are you better at processing it?
When I was younger, yeah, I feel like I've gotten better at processing it. But for me, people like who say that, oh, nerves, they aren't there anymore for me. I'm just like, for me, I'm an anxious wreck. I'm nervous the whole time. From whenever, like, it's the 2 or 3 fights before, like when I'm waiting in the back and it's 2 or 3 fights before me, I'm just like, okay, it's almost time for me. Okay, it's almost time. And then I go, then I walk up, I walk out. It's like, okay, there's a whole lot of people here. There's cameras here. There's lights here.
Don't look at me.
Exactly. Stop. Yeah, really.
It's on UFC Fight Pass around the world. Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands of people have access to that, and they're probably watching. I
never thought about that before.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this Sunday, Fury 54, it's going down in Houston.
But like, the main thing, like, but once the ref says, "Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go," and it's just all right. It's just like another cliche. A switch turns on, and it's just. All right, it's now it's time for work. I have a maximum of 15 minutes to do whatever I want it's what I call it helps me with my process. I have a hard sparring match, bringing in a guy from out of town. I have about a max of 15 minutes, and if I knock him out or tap him out, then I can go home.
Yeah,
and that's helped me a whole lot, because just with calming down, dealing with nerves, because like I said, they're always there for me. But like you said, I've just learned how to cope better than anything else.
What about you, Felipe? Is there some things that you've been working on? You've already had several fights and stuff, but how do you deal with that?
We're always working on everything as mixed martial artists. We have to always make sure that we're sharp everywhere, whether it's striking, takedowns, grappling. We never neglect any particular field. I do know that I have a slight advantage as far as like grappling goes, because before MMA, I did dedicate like 12 years straight just to that before transitioning over. But just because we're working a lot more on the striking and the wrestling doesn't mean that the grappling is getting neglected. Yeah, I kind of have the same process as Nico, really. Nerves are always there. I meditate a lot. Meditating helps me. I try to envision the fight as much as possible, right? I envision every good outcome in my head. I never let any doubt creep into my mind, right? So before I warm up, we start hitting pads, whatever. I like to sit on the side and I do some breathing exercises, and then I just envision the fight in my head. I try to get as close as I can to like getting that feeling of the walkout. To me, like when I hear the cage lock, that's when like I'm like, okay, it's real. Like this is really happening. I try to recreate all that in my mind so that whenever I do get in the cage, even though like the nerves are always there, but it's better controlled because I feel like I've already put myself through the situation before stepping in. I've played this thousands of times in my head. So this is nothing new to me. Like I've been here, like this is already in the past. This fight's already done. Like you've already lost. And that's like I'm going home to my girlfriend, my stepdaughter, my dogs, and we're going to eat pizza. And yeah.
What about the crowd? You know, because you look at guys like Conor and the UFC, and some of them, they eat it up and they get feed off of that. But I don't know, for you guys, do y'all feed off of that energy, or do you block it out? Does it depend?
For me, I know that the last fight I had, it helped out quite a bit, because it was like the first time I actually had a big crowd out there for me. And so this last fight, dude, it was horrible. I cut like 25 pounds in a week. That it was disgusting. It sucked.
Yeah.
And when I did get in on the takedown, my opponent, he was strong. And right there, as soon as I wrapped my hands around his hips, I felt like the fatigue from the weight cut. That's when it hit me, and I was like, oh shoot. Like, okay.
Yeah.
This is going to be tough. And then it just so happened that I can't remember exactly who, but as we're up against the cage, when I look up, I locked eyes with one of my friends, and I was just like, and then they were like cheering for me. And then psychologically, that gave me like that little extra push to really get him down to the ground. And then, thankfully, I was able to finish the fight there. But that was the first time I've experienced anything like that. Normally I am able to just block everything out, and all I hear is like Drew's voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you'd be surprised. Like, you could be thousands of people there. When you're in that cage, you don't hear anything. And I could, from my first fight, to be honest, I don't even remember the fight. Like, when we got off the cage, and then my friends, they're telling me, oh man, this and that. I was like, that happened?
I gotta go watch that fight. Sounds like a good fight.
I was like, that Felipe guy sounds kind of good.
Yeah. Who won?
Yeah.
He won. Yeah.
Yeah, because even Drew, he was like, yeah, man, we know when you hit him with this punch. I was like, I hit him?
Is that because so much of that, I guess, is muscle memory, and you've trained it so many times and drilled it so many times? It's just, just reactionary.
You just go into autopilot.
Yeah.
I'm telling, to me, it's the lock of the cage.
Yep.
Cage locks my body. It's like if you're to ask me to tell you about my fight or both fights that I've had, I honestly cannot tell you like every step of it, because I don't remember. Like, I have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Because when you're in there, your body's just it's doing what it knows. That's why I preach a lot to my students. You wanna treat when you're training, you're gonna compete the way you train. So if you're lazy in the gym, you're gonna be lazy out there.
Yep.
You hear it all the time, guys that are like, oh, I nice and easy in the gym, but then in competition I turn it up. Lies. That does not exist. Right? Because when you get there, the adrenaline kicks in. You got some dude trying to punch you in your face. It's legitimately trying to hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
Your body's going to do what it knows. So if your body knows, all it knows is just lay on your back and just flop, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah. Wow. It's good information.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I do. Now I'm going to write that down. Stop flopping. Man. So, okay, one of the things that I gathered from that is without, 25 pounds weight cut in a week, this one, you knew the fight, you accept, 185, you're going to be more prepared physically and just everything, I guess. Mentally, that's a big weight cut.
Yeah. I know that there are a lot of fighters, they always have this saying like, oh, I'm always prepared. You're not always prepared, but you try to leave yourself as close to whenever an opportunity does pop up to where even though you may not be like 100% to where you need to be, you're somewhat close to that, And I think as it's our job as fighters to always keep ourselves within that margin, which where the saying, anyone, anytime, anywhere comes into place, because I'm totally down for that, because I know I train year round. My diet is always on point. Well, like
as most as it can within reason, right?
And I'm always in the weight room. I'm always working. So when opportunities do come up, I'm always able to take it, no problem.
Yeah.
And the same goes for Nico.
Yeah.
I've seen this guy work. This guy's a work machine.
There's one guy, I saw him fight the other day, and I guess it was his UFC debut, Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah.
Paddy the Batty, and they showed like off season, like he's not working. This dude looks like a totally different person.
Yes.
And then he's like cut, ready to fight. But that, I don't know. I mean, everybody has a different approach, but it was just like, it doesn't look like the same dude.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of that with him is going to change as he gets older.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember being 18 and being able, dude, when I was 18, I could eat 3 slices of pizza and go train.
Oh, those are the days.
Drink a Coke.
Nowadays,
Yeah, go train.
if I take too many breaths before I step on the mat, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I think that's with him, that's going to change. You just become smarter with it. You start to understand your body a little more. You see a lot of changes, and so I don't see him doing that for much longer.
No.
Nico, you fought with Fury. When was your first Fury fight?
Let's see. That was 2000. I think it was May of 2017, I believe. I'm not too sure. I have to look back, but it was a while. It's been a minute. I fought Jason Solis. He actually runs a gym. I think it was Third Coast Grappling, and he I had a lot of respect for him. I was a purple belt at the time. He was a black belt, and I felt really good going into that fight. I had a lot of fun, but I came out with the I lost by decision. But I learned a whole lot from it. I have to say that, but regardless of that, Fury has done nothing but provide, fair fights. They've taken care of me. They've, whenever I go out of town, this goes for honestly, if you fight for Fury and you put in the work, you show up on weight, you sell your tickets, they take care of you. If you actually put in the work and you actually, promote yourself and you help bring money, it's a business. It's like what Felipe said with the gym. Even though Fury is trying to create, big name fighters, they're a business, so they have to make money. So if we help them, they help us. It's mutual. So but Eric Garcia, he's a great guy, and he's treated me right. He's treated my my training partners right, and I really couldn't see myself fighting for anybody else. Right now, I fought for other promotions, but I will say that Fury has been the best one that I've ever fought for. Yeah.
And you see, I guess just the quality, the live stream and just being in the building and seeing the experience. And Fury's grown, a lot. I'm sure since I wasn't able to go to any events in 2017, I wish I would have. But just I'm sure you could speak on how have things changed since then.
Oh, I was there whenever Eric actually had his very first fight card. He put on his very first fight card, not even pro, amateur. And they weren't even called Fury. They weren't called Fury. They were called Cage Combat. I was there for that. And Eric, I'm sorry if you see this, but I'm gonna bring up this bad memory. Very first night, two ladies started yelling at each other because from 2 different gyms. One lady tased the other lady
in the audience.
In the audience, yes. And then a whole big brawl, broke out.
A bunch of martial artists and gyms, in an arena.
The best place to do it, but gosh, I
oh man,
I was on the other. I was like perpendicular to them. I was to the side of it, and I saw the whole thing. I was just like, oh my gosh, is this like every other pro? Is this every live fight? This is amazing.
Picks up a chair. He's got a chair. Where did it come from? I don't know.
Exactly. But man, like that. But that night, because of all that, they actually had to. I think that that night after that whole thing happened, they actually had to escort every single person in the audience out of that building because they wanted to make sure that didn't happen anymore. So the only people that were there for the last few fights were the fighters, the corners, and the state official, and the people that worked for Eric at the time. Jeez. That was the very first, fight card that Eric put on. Again, sorry, Eric, but good memory regardless.
You ask yourself this now, like, okay, I'm sure that they had security, the security escort them out,
Oh yeah.
but you're in a venue, right, full of fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Most of like these security guards, like they've never gotten into a fight their whole life.
Oh no.
And there's a lot of
Right.
them that are not even like they don't even carry.
No.
So, what do you do then when a fight breaks out? Like at a fight, it's a bunch of fighters. It's like, hey, you stop that! Don't do it.
And they're not just fighting like for themselves. It's like at that point, it doesn't even matter what happened. But if your gym is going against somebody else, it's like, hey, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's like your family.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So sounds like a spicy situation that I wish I could have been there for.
Oh,
At least
man.
seeing the film,
Oh yeah.
break down the fight in the fight. Yeah.
Oh, I'd be
Eric,
down to
if
break
you
that
got the
down.
video,
Oh yeah.
send it to us.
Yeah, even now there's cell phones are so much better quality even from then.
Mhm.
Everybody has one and their kids, you
Yeah.
know. So iPad somebody pulls
But
out.
I mean,
Yeah.
2017, there was like we were like a what iPhone
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seven? I
We're
mean,
like
the
13 Pro plus
cameras
now, yeah.
were like decent.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the very first fight that I went to for Cage Combat for Eric. That was like back in 2011. So
Oh,
those
that's
phones.
when-
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
now we're talking.
There we go.
Yeah.
See, now you know. Now you have a bit more of an idea.
That's when
That's
people had
the-
the BlackBerry.
That's the
Yeah.
maybe iPhone 3GS.
Oh,
I
there
remember
we go.
those. Yeah, that's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
around that time.
I wouldn't know. I still had a flip phone until I turned 25.
Yeah.
So I didn't know
Got
how
the
to.
smartphone.
Oh yeah, I got a smartphone then. But no, flip phones were where it was at, man. 3-day battery. You could play Snake on it. Play Tetris. Oh, that's all I needed.
You're good to go.
Oh yeah.
It gave you more time to train and focus on other things. Yeah, now we
Exactly.
we kill a lot of time. But if you use that for training and
Mhm.
there's other things you can do as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
YouTube, communication.
Exactly.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier for us to market ourselves.
Oh yeah,
you know?
definitely.
How important is that?
It's super important, because we are our brand. You
Yeah.
know, our name is a business. So we have to be able to market ourselves. So it's very important to be active on social media. That's how we make our money.
Mhm.
Like how Nico was saying earlier, a lot of people they think that fighters live this amazing lifestyle, right? Where it's like, oh, you guys get to train all day, I see you get to travel to all these places to fight. Dude, it's unless you're really passionate about this, it sucks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It really sucks. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have no idea how many times I've almost been homeless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't know if I was gonna have enough money to put gas in my car to
Mhm.
eat. I've had people help me out with gas money. I had people buy me food. Which that's why I say I'm very thankful for martial arts
Mhm.
because it's brought so many great people into my life, but that's the side that no one gets to see. So that's why it's
Mhm.
important that we use technology nowadays
Yep.
to market ourselves because that's where most of our money comes from is from privates.
Yep.
Or being able to teach seminars. That's where we're able to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't take advantage of that, you're just gonna struggle.
You mentioned about being thankful, and we joked about this a little bit, and it's not really a joke. I'm sure it's serious, but Thanksgiving's next week. Y'all fight on Sunday.
Yeah.
You talked about what Monday is going to look like, Thanksgiving week's going to look like, Sunday night, what that is going to look like for you guys.
So for me, right, Sunday night, it's not gonna go too crazy. Just
Oof.
probably 3 bottles of vodka.
Hey.
But, No, so nothing to. I'll probably just get together because I have a lot of friends coming to the fight. So we'll probably just grab something to eat after, and then I kind of just want to rest. But then Monday, Claudia, my girlfriend, we planned it out that we're gonna go to Snooze, the
What's that?
brunch place. They
Ooh.
make have you seen them on Instagram, dude? It looks good.
They have one on
Oh.
Bay Area.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's over by, there's a Main Squeeze Juice and then Snooze.
Mhm.
I've been there one time. It's good.
Okay. Veronica Sanchez, you and I are gonna be going there on Monday as well. Just letting you know, okay?
And then after Snooze, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get that 10-pound Cinnabon.
Ooh, my man. That's
From
what I'm
Bonnie's Donuts.
Oh,
Bonnie's
yeah.
Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, a 10-pound Cinnabon.
Oh, yeah.
So,
It's massive. Well, I've only seen the 5 pound. Seriously, like, and if you're watching on social media, so the 5 pound is about that big, and so
God.
it's massive. Yeah, and it's round. It's huge, but it's really good.
yeah.
I mean, I couldn't finish one.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
I'm gonna record myself doing it. And I'm gonna finish him like, Gardy, you're a loser. I finished it.
You said I couldn't do this. You called me out, dude.
But those are my plans right now.
Mhm.
Right? I just want to feel disgusting.
My man. Oh, God.
What about you? What about you, Nico?
Oh man, me and my girlfriend Veronica, we have our plan like from the day of weigh-ins, after we weigh in, day of the fight, and then like the week after, we're going Kelly's after the weigh-ins. We're gonna go to steakhouse after that for lunch, and then we're gonna go to Olive Garden for dinner. Then it's gonna be IHOP in the morning, and then I'm just gonna chill. After that, it's gonna be we haven't decided the restaurant yet. We're gonna see about that one. Voodoo Donuts. I'm gonna be so. One of my biggest things is I love me some double stuffed Oreos, and I remember.
Single stuff's not enough.
No.
Need the double.
Oh, you gotta go double, man. It's not. There's no such thing as normal Oreos. You have double stuff. Those are the Oreos that matter.
Right.
But I remember one fight. Me and my buddy Brad Romine, he and I were like, you know what? We're gonna go drink We're gonna drink chocolate milk out of fancy wine glasses and eat Oreos. And we decided, let's put all that in a blender. So we put. It was. Woo. we did that, man. I didn't I forgot that you can get tummy aches from eating so much sugar. I forgot. I forgot about that. Whenever you're 5, you eat too much candy from Halloween.
Yeah.
I was 20.
Yeah.
I was 24, 25. I ate I had myself a double stuffed Oreo and chocolate milkshake, and man,
It was really good.
oh God, it tasted so good going down. But
The
man,
pain.
just sitting there, just was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, I want my mom.
So, back then, what I used to do on Sundays is when I was living in New York, I would go to Dunkin' Donuts and I would just take down a dozen donuts, no problem.
Oh yeah.
Dozen
And
donuts.
I never had any Sundays.
Yeah,
It's weird. Yeah, I've done that. There was one time I went to McDonald's. I did 15 cheeseburgers, 5 McChickens.
I thought you were stopping at the 15.
No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
15 cheeseburgers, 5 McChickens, the Oreo McFlurry, 2 apple pies, 2 large fries.
Because you were bored, or just to see if you could do it.
Man, like
It's just
'cause
Saturday.
I watch,
It's just
I
Saturday.
watch food challenges on YouTube, and then
my
I'm
man.
like,
Okay.
and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna come up with something crazy, and I'm gonna do it.
Why not?
And then, yeah, why not?
I have to ask, like, did you order that all at once, or did you just you finished one thing? I was like, I'm gonna get another.
No, all at once.
Oh my man.
And then I just sat in bed, and I was like covered in cheese.
Yeah.
And I ate it all. And man, rest in peace to the toilet the next day.
Oh no. Okay, so there's a couple of things that reminded me of some stories that I have. So one, me and my friend used to take martini glasses and drink Ovaltine out of it, and we call it Ovaltinis.
Ooh.
Two, we thought we were pretty clever about that, so I recommend it to anybody. You
By
feel
all means,
fancy,
yeah.
fancy. And then one day we went to McDonald's. We got $50. I don't know how. It was, that's a lot of money. We're like,
yeah.
$50. Okay, let's go get, $50 cheeseburgers. And we're gonna see if we can finish them all. And so then, but we did like a photo shoot with it, if you will. But we did it in the bathroom.
In McDonald's bathroom?
No.
Oh, at the home
At the home
bathroom.
bathroom.
At our
Oh,
house.
okay.
At the house.
Okay,
At the
I was
house.
like, that was-
But we're like, okay, let's fill up the bathtub with cheeseburgers. And then it'll look like this was the idea, and this is a true story. There's pictures.
Okay.
If you dig deep enough on my Facebook
All
from like
right.
10, 12 years ago. That's all. That's the stories.
I know
Just
what
remind-
when I get home.
yeah.
I'm going to go
Stopping by McDonald's.
Same.
I thought you were gonna be like, wait till Monday. Go
Yeah, well, no,
go have your own photo shoot, and you can
You
do
say
it.
you got 50 burgers?
Yeah, we
I'm
did
gonna get
50.
51.
Oh, my man.
Oh gosh.
They did the photo shoot.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we were just. I mean, this was like on our iPhone 3GSs.
Oh man.
You know, so
Oh,
a little
yeah.
blurry, but they're there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's photos. So.
Right on, right on.
Man,
Sounds
we
like
need
a
to stop
good
talking
time.
about food. I know y'all are on.
I think that we can. I will find a way to stomach this anger right now.
Yeah. What do you normally walk around at, Nico?
I walk around at about 185, maybe 190. Like that's without being like without being in a fight camp. Like right after the fight, I'll shoot up and wait because
Yeah.
I'll go ham. But that's around where I usually walk around. So I cut 30, 35 pounds for a fight within about between 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. But then, like most people, I was talking to a friend of mine, and him and I both were supposed to fight on the same night. We both couldn't fight. One reason my opponent got injured, he got injured, so we weren't able to fight. He was going to fight at 155. I was going to fight at 155. I see him like on the next following Tuesday, and I say, "Oh man, so what are you weighing right now?" He says, "Oh, I got back up to like 166." I was like,
Back up.
oh, and the thing is, like, right after I found out I wasn't fighting, I in my own, like, because I was in such sorrow, I went to drown my sorrows in Krispy Kreme donuts. So I had about 3 or 4 of those, and some donut holes, some chocolate milk, and man, I went crazy, and I shot up to about 187 in about 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So from about 165. So yeah.
What kind of? How is that mentally dealing with that? So if you're ready, you're in camp, you're on weight. That's a lot of hard work, dedication, time, and then stuff happens. Injuries happen. It's combat sports, right? How is it dealing with that?
When I go back to when I was younger, but when I was younger, like, it really sucks because it's just like you get angry, whether it be at yourself or at your opponent because I do all this freaking work and they go off and get injured, or I do all this work and I just stub my toe and now I have a broken toe and I can't fight. It sucks. You're filled with just frustration just from all this happenstance. But as I've gotten older, I've had injuries happen to me. I actually had to get stitches like above my eye, 2 weeks before a fight, and they weren't going to clear me for it. So I was bummed for a little bit. Then I told myself, you know what? Time to just calm down. This gives me more time to work. It's time. I'll just be able to get back into the gym like ASAP, and I'll be able to get back to work, and I'll be able to get ready for my next fight, and I'll be even more ready for the next guy. So I have to look at it so I always have to look at things as small blessings. Don't look at it as, oh, you can't do this fight. You can't do this fight anymore. Sucks to suck. No, look at it as more time to train, more time to get even more ready. That's how I've learned how to cope with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And last time, I think there was an injury. That's how you stepped up and had to cut that amount of weight in a week. You had to fill in. But have you been on the other side, even in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Super fights or anything like that?
Yeah. I've had people pull out like day before, day of too, as a matter of fact.
Oof.
Like how Nico says, at first you tend to be a little upset, but it is what it is.
It's the nature of the beast, I suppose.
Things happen.
Yeah.
And just focus on the next.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't dwell because everything happens for a reason. So you could either mope around and be upset. What's that gonna get you? Nothing.
Yep.
Or you can just say, okay, cool. Like, so this didn't work out. That means that something else even better is coming.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. At ACS, there's quite a bit of fighters or some amateur guys, and I follow Drew and ACS as well on social media, so I get to see a lot of the people in the photos, and it looks like a cool like a brotherhood, I suppose. But one of the guys that was there, it was him and another gentleman. They were doing backflips, but then I realized, so my daughter's in gymnastics, and I was like. And I'd seen him in some of the photos, and I was like, he looks familiar. But he teaches at Above the Bar in League City, and I made the connection. Yeah, and I didn't know his name, but I was like, it is him. I was like, okay, he teaches over there.
Yep, he actually teaches. He's actually one of the kids coaches at ACS.
Okay.
Yeah, so number one, Chris is probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's a sweetheart. But he is super strong. He hits really hard. Me and Felipe can both attest to this.
He hits really hard.
Oh, yeah.
Well, dude's all bouncy and stuff. I was like, of course, it makes sense.
Oh, yeah. But the guy he's an athlete through and through. but he picks up on things so fast. He's you hear this with a lot of guys that are like turning to be really good fighters, but with him, he's been with us for about a year, but he keeps on just taking as much information as he can. He keeps on learning new things. He keeps on fixing mistakes, and it's crazy. Like I was there for his very first, like, he had an unsanctioned fight, like what we call a smoker, and the guy he went against was a blue belt, and Chris is still a white belt, but he knocked the guy out in the first round, and I'll say the man has this is from Drew's mouth, not mine. The man has death in his hands. He's crazy good, but it's funny. Like he's so good with kids, and he's just a really nice guy to just talk to. So it's just really weird how that comes around with MMA. You could be the nicest guy, but in the cage, you just make people miserable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my daughter's 4. Maybe I should move her from the gymnastics gym to the MMA gym. And there's kids classes, right? And,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They'll get plenty of work. They'll get plenty of work in.
I've already tried that. My wife's not down. Yeah. So she has her life. She has some time. She'll get a little older. Maybe she'll want to switch. But
okay, we'll see. We'll try.
there's some time.
Yeah.
Okay. So just a reminder. So on Sunday we got Felipe and we got Nico. They're going to be fighting for Fury Fighting Championship at the historic Houston Arena Theater. Is there still tickets? Can people still access that fight?
Yes, you will be able to find the tickets, I believe, on FuryFC.tv or FuryFights.tv.
Ticketmaster.
Oh, Ticketmaster. Okay, yes, on Ticketmaster. So there are still tickets available online that you'll be able to purchase. If you guys can make it, please do. It's an awesome venue, and the fights are going to be great. You'll see Felipe fighting for a belt. You'll see me fighting for #1 contender shot to. Well, right now, Fury. Hey, Eric Garcia. Right now, you don't have a lightweight champ, so you might as well just make it official because you got the 2 best lightweights in your division. So just go ahead and make it official, man. All right, we're already fighting for the #1 spot, so just give us the belt. All right.
It makes sense to me.
Oh yeah.
Because it's the 2 best guys. There is no lightweight champion. So the #1 spot against who?
Yeah.
If there is no champion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Eric, we love you, by the way. We're not. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, yeah, I would have thought about it, but then there was that story earlier.
Yeah.
Something about Cage Warrior. I don't remember that night. But man, I'm excited for both you guys, and I enjoy being able to watch y'all's journey, and I'll be able to watch on UFC Fight Pass.
Yes.
And that's going to be on Sunday. Sunday's a busy day.
Mm-hmm.
A busy day for me, and there's no way. Man, I've tried. I'm like, I just won't. I work in a church.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, and I love it. So there's that. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for UFC Fight Pass, and I know a lot of people are as well. So that's another option. You can't make it there in person.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch it from anywhere in the world.
Also, if you want to see Felipe, it'll be broadcast on the Fury Fighting Championships Facebook page as well as their YouTube channel. So just FYI.
Dude, there's so many people that watch. I love like a live stream and there's like 300, 400, 500 people watching, and not all of it's in English. And I'm like, again, there's people watching, I don't even know from where.
Yeah.
Because Fury brings these guys in from all over the world.
Yep.
Amateurs, professionals, they're bringing in the best of the best. So it's awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's
my
fun.
favorite part about the streaming on YouTube or
Yeah.
Facebook is you can clearly tell who my mom is. I love it.
Yeah.
Like I look back at it, I'm just like, man, my mom's the best. But like you could clearly tell who my mother is in that comment section.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
So anyone that tries to trash talk me in the comment section, have fun talking to my mom.
Be prepared. Be
Losers.
prepared, yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, I just want to thank everyone that's helped me get ready for this fight camp. I want to thank my sponsors. I've had a few sponsors with this fight camp. High and Dry. I've had Texan EMS. My friend Mike Maraca, his company has been sponsoring me as well. And then as always, 93 brand, Hudson Valley CBD.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Coach Drew, Professor Ed, my girlfriend Claudia, and also I need to a quick little shout out because she gets mad if I don't to my stepdaughter Zoe.
Oh.
We love you. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
And my parents back in New York. Love you guys.
Yeah. Nico, is anything else you'd like to share?
No, not really. I just like to thank like everybody at ACS, Professor Drew, Felipe, who's been one of my main training partners for this whole fight camp. Honestly, for the last 2 fights that I've had, he's been a big help in my growth as a mixed martial artist, and he's just been a big help to me. I have we also up the guys up at Main Street Boxing, Coach Bob Perez, as well as a lot of the other guys there, Jacob, Paul, everybody that's been a big help, just cross training with them. And my family, mom, my dad, and my girlfriend Veronica, love you, baby, and just all my teammates, past, present, future. They've helped me got to where I am right now, and I see that they're going to help me get to where I want to be in the future. So thank you guys.
Awesome. So best of luck to both of y'all on Sunday. I know y'all will go out there and I'm guessing win. If I can bet money, and I think sometimes you can on some of these things, I'd probably win. I have a good chance to win a lot of money.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I appreciate you guys for making time, though.
Of course, Gardy. Thank you so much, man.
It's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM.